Welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. I am honored to have Megan from Big Brother that was just eliminated. Megan, how are you doing?
I'm doing much better now, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really confused here. Now, I'm not. It's confusing that how you left, of course, because they kept everybody in the air. But what's even more confusing for me is, like, why were these guys so threatened by you? Like, for instance, Josh immediately comes at you in the kitchen and starts hollering at you like you did something wrong. Now, maybe we didn't see something. I don't know if something happened, that time, what is it, a week in there without the live feeds going on? Maybe something went down. I don't know. But I was so confused because in my notes here, I put that immediately I seen you start strategically playing the game, trying to get alliances together. Then all of a sudden I seen Josh come at you like you did something wrong to him. Now, what exactly happened? Why were these guys so, aggressive towards you?
So I haven't actually watched the show yet. I plan on watching it when I actually get to my house in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they showed him going after me outside during the HOH competition. That's when it all started, and he picked it back up again in the kitchen.
Right.
And I still, to this day, have no idea why he came at me like that. I was speculating that he won the $25,000, and he went after the golden apple for safety, and because you have to throw the HOH comp, and that's why he did it. But other than that, I am still lost. I'm still confused. I don't know why I was seen as such a threat. I was honestly just trying to be nice and friendly to everyone. So.
I mean, did you say something to him? Was it like before the live feeds came up? Did you bump him the wrong way? Did you feel any vibes before he did all that towards you?
Not at all. We had one conversation in one of the bedrooms. It was me, him, Kevin, and Alex. And that was the only time I really talked to him. I don't know if I said something that set him off or if he's just an asshole.
Right. Well, to me, it seemed like something was wrong with him. And it looked like something was wrong all of a sudden. It's like something's wrong. Like, he's so paranoid. He's scared of you. But it's not just you in that house. It's, what is it, 18 or so? I don't even know the number of the people in the house. But a certain amount of people, everybody's going to be against him sooner or later. And then he comes at you personally. So I thought maybe something happened, behind the scenes that we didn't see. Maybe, a comment was said that, we didn't hear about or something like that. Because I just couldn't get that.
Yeah, if something happened, I missed it too. Maybe someone told him something. I have no idea. But at that point, my targets were Cody, Matt, and Mark.
And
I was pretty sure they were going to form the All Guys Alliance.
You know what? It's funny you said that because on my last podcast with Rachel Riley, I said Cody, Matt, and Mark are going to be all on the block sooner or later, all together. Because of the way they play.
Well, that was my hope.
Right, that's a very strategic, smart thing to do because it's you go off the strong in the house. Then all of us talking about Cody. All of a sudden, at the table, he straight up's like, "I don't like you." Like I liked you from the get go. I thought you was going to play good. I thought you was going to play strategically. When these guys were coming at you like that, to tell you the truth, it started pissing me off. And I just did a podcast with Brandon Hantz, and we were talking about that. We were like, why are they bullying her? Why are they all coming up to her? So, I don't know, because you didn't give me a bad vibe, and I'm a dude. You didn't give Brandon, he liked you. We were like, okay, what is it that they have to come at her like that? Is it just their character? Is it the character flaw that they have? Because, it's nothing, to me, it's nothing wrong that you did. To me, it's their problem. It's a character flaw, and it's who they are as people. When you bully somebody like that, then that you're not a good person. I don't care. You have Cody talking about him in the military, and then you watch the live feeds, and he's talking about, he uses the word tranny, and then he says, after he uses that word, he says, well, nobody's gonna come at an infantry guy. Like, look, I respect the military more than anybody that could possibly respect it. But I tell you one thing, it doesn't give you a license to bully people, and it doesn't give you a license to disrespect people. And I think that's his problem. He's a bully, and it's starting to show.
Yeah, and I also was in the military, and I was kind of hoping there would at least be some level of respect there, even though we weren't really friends at that point. But I guess even with that, I was just the odd one out.
Right.
I think when Josh came after me, it kind of put a huge target on me as well as him, because there's a lot of people in that house that still want him out. But I really think that was just the catalyst for everything.
Yeah, because, man, it's not fair. It's not fair for you. It's not fair for, anybody that gets bullied like that, because that's just what happened. We just seen you being bullied, and then, to where it brought back, I read something recently where it brought back bad memories. It's hard for me to even discuss it because I don't want to bring back anything, with you, that's happened in your past or anything like that. But, when you bully people, you don't know what they've been through. You could be bullying somebody in that game that's been bullied all their life in high school, and it was a tragic thing, and maybe they even tried to kill themselves. And then all of a sudden, you bullying them, nobody knows this happens, and then you have somebody on the ledge again. So, it's not good anytime. I don't care if you're playing a game for $1 million or $500,000. It's not good to bully people.
No, and I totally agree with that. And, I never did share with anyone in the house what happened with me. It wasn't something I really wanted to share on a national level. Mm-hmm. But after I got out, all the things people were saying about me, I felt like I had to at least explain to everyone. And I don't know, I felt hurt by that, I guess.
I agree. And trust me, lots of people are going to hear this podcast. And I wanted to be the first person that you got to explain yourself and what really happened, because people are calling you a quitter. They say, oh, she quit the show. Well, CBS didn't. I have to give it up for CBS. They didn't call you a quitter. They said the right thing. They were like, okay, she left. How did they say it? For a family
urgent personal reasons.
Which I get that. It's not like you quit the game. If you had a shot, would you go back in that game after relaxing a little bit? Would you go back in right now if they gave you a shot?
I don't think so. I don't think I can handle it.
Right.
Maybe I could with a different cast, or after a couple more years of therapy.
Right.
But everything in there affected me so much. I was getting physically ill from everything that was happening. I wasn't eating. I was throwing up.
Were they seeing that?
Getting sick.
Production was seeing that, I'm sure. And I'm not blaming production.
Yes, they were.
I'm not blaming production. And some people are saying, I have notes here that says that why didn't production stop the bullying? To be fair, production's trying to do a TV show, and they don't really know deep down what's really going on in our soul. And what happened with you, are you upset with production? Are you upset with them, or are you okay with the whole situation with them?
I'm not upset with production at all. There's a couple conversations that I had with them that I know they didn't show. I was in contact with the therapist that they have on set a lot. I honestly think they did the best job that they could and still try and produce a show.
Right. Well, that's they do. That's exactly what happens, and I believe that's what happened in this case. But it's just I want to make it clear, you guys. If you go out there and you play a game, any of these strategic games, you can be aggressive and not bully. It is a possibility that can happen. You could be a strategic player and not have to bully someone. Now, you was in the Navy?
Yes.
How where did you serve?
I did 6 years. I started off on board the USS Cole.
Wow.
And then I volunteered to go to the Middle East. And while I was over there, I worked at a prison.
Wow. Like a Middle East prison?
Yeah. Like a military prison, but yeah.
Wow, that must have been rough. I'm sure you get
it was an interesting experience.
Right. And so when this was all happening, now if this is getting uncomfortable for you, then we can stop talking about it. But I'm gonna, I have to ask the question like a good reporter would do. But when this was all happening, is that what happened? It brought you back to maybe something bad that's happened in the military, like a PTSD type situation?
Yes, that's pretty much exactly what was happening. I haven't had any issues with my PTSD in probably over a year and a half. And I really thought I was going to be fine. I was going to be good to do the show. But with all these guys attacking me and coming after me, and I lost it. I went into full panic, full anxiety. I mean, I was making myself ill because my anxiety was getting so bad from being in there.
Yeah, it was. So you was aware that you've had PTSD. Was your loved ones, anybody in your immediate family, worried about you going in there playing? Because if my sister or my girlfriend or anybody like that was going into a game like that, I would be worried because I know the type of situations and stress it puts you in. Being on an island for 39 days. It's something that you're not used to. It's something that can bring that kind of thing out. Was anybody worried about that?
Yeah, my mom was actually really worried about it. But me and her had a sit down talk, and we both knew I haven't had issues in a long time. And we really thought I was going to be fine. But you never know, and you never understand what life is like there until you experience it. So many past house guests have reached out to me saying, hey, we support you. No one else knows what it's like in that house except for people that have been there or even people that have done Survivor. You don't understand the craziness and the feelings that you get just from being there.
Yeah, well, I wanted to tell you personally that I do support you, and you have my number. So anytime you want to call me off the record, we can talk. Anytime you need someone to talk to, believe it or not, I have a little bit of wisdom. I try to help. I try my best. But people think that I'm the big bad wolf nowadays. But I'm just I just want to let you know that I do support what happened in there, and I'm the first person that would be like, okay, if she quit, I don't support that at all. I don't agree with that. I don't think you quit. I think you made the right move by leaving the house.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. And I also hope me and Jillian actually had like an hour-long conversation about how you are one of our favorite Survivor players.
Wow.
Jillian's actually one of your super fans.
When did that happen?
It was during Off the Feeds. It was probably like day 3 or 4. We were talking about you and your brother and all that, and how we both loved you on Survivor. Wow. You played a super loyal game. You told that girl, I'm going to take you to the end, and you did. We loved it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And what happened with, I got to clear this air too. What happened with, who was it? I forgot her name. When they said that you called her a penguin, or not a penguin.
Panda.
A panda. When you called her a panda. Now, I
didn't call anyone a panda.
No, I know you didn't. And what happened was you thought you heard someone, Jessica, calling her a panda, but she said, what did she call her?
Pow pow.
Pow pow. Which I was like, no, that's not right. They turned it around on her because she didn't call her that.
Yeah.
They turning that around on you, and you're going to tell your alliance what you just heard, which a good alliance would do, and then they turn that all around on you just because you misheard them. Say pow pow instead of panda. It's like, what? So I thought you got the raw deal on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if Jessica would have been like, hey, I didn't call her panda, I called her pow pow, everything would have been totally fine and cool. No one would have cared.
Right.
You know what I mean? Be like, oh, sorry, I misheard. Have a good day, blah, 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 and that would have been the end of it. But no, everything just went crazy and insane.
So it was a lot more than what we seen?
Yeah, there was a lot of people yelling at me, and then everyone disappeared to separate rooms and were talking about me loudly. I could hear it.
Wow.
I was just sitting there by myself oh my God, I have no idea what happened. I don't know what's going on. And then a little bit after that was when things started getting really bad for me, and I had to go into the DR. And I was trying just to get to some anxiety medication that I brought.
Right.
And get some anti-nauseas.
Wow.
But I ended up breaking down in there.
So they just kept on you about the panda thing.
Yep.
And was it ever cleared up? And they say, okay, you called her Pow Pow. That's enough. I get it.
No.
Really?
No, Jessica denied saying anything.
Oh, she didn't even say she called her Pow Pow.
Nope.
Because she would have thought maybe that would seem racist too, so she didn't say that. Oh, I didn't say anything like that. Yeah. Well, she was sure laughing like crazy when Cody calling the LGBT community when he's saying tranny and laughing about that. She sure was laughing hard about that, wasn't she? Did you see that clip?
Oh, yeah, I did see that, and the only reason why I even did see that was because Kevin somehow got dragged into it, and like he was participating in that conversation. I had to say something like, I don't think Kevin would ever say something like that. And after watching the clip, he kind of just chimed in at the end, right, which is good because Kevin's my favorite. I love him.
So, yeah, let's talk about in the game what you've seen and who are your favorites. My favorite is Kevin, and my favorite's Kevin too. So is he seem that cool that we are watching on TV? Does he seem that cool?
Oh, he's even better in person than he is on TV. He has the craziest stories. He's absolutely hilarious. I love him. I think I tweeted sometime this week that he was my number one pick for America's Fave.
So you think he's going to do well?
I think he's going to do amazing. He is an intelligent man, and he keeps that hidden very well. And I also think he knows a lot more about the game than he's letting anyone in on.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. And, at first with Judd, I did like a profiling thing to where as players of Survivor and players of Big Brother, we would profile each individual person just by looks like you have to do when you see there. And he was my favorite going into it. I can't really tell you. I forgot what I said about half the people, but he's one of the ones that I remembered. And Jessica, I was like, oh, of course she's a beautiful lady. But now it's funny how that works. She's a pretty girl until you get to know who she really is inside. Then all of a sudden that 10 goes to a 2 real fast.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked her at first because she's kind of a low-key nerd. She's talking about how much she loves Harry Potter and Star Wars. But when you start really getting to know her, she's a little, I don't want to say off because I'm really trying hard not to talk bad about any of the house guests. Right. I'm sure they're all great outside of the house, but she's got some issues.
Do you think that being in the house gets to some of these people and actually reverses who they are as people and turns, changes their character? Like, do you think it changes people?
I honestly don't think it changes people, but it amplifies. So if you're an asshole in that house, you're going to be 10 times more of an asshole than you normally are. I don't think it changes anything about your personality, but I think it makes some of those bad things really stand out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, being in a house like that with a bunch of people, even Judd said when he was playing, the reason I bring his name up because I just did a podcast with him, and he said that Aaron was extremely sweet and nice, and as soon as the live feeds went up, things changed.
Yep, you start seeing people's true colors very quickly.
Right. What do you think about Christmas?
I love Christmas. I think she's such a sweetheart. She was supposed to teach me how to deadlift while we were there, but we never got a chance to do that.
Well, what is she? She's a power lifter or something? I know she lifts weight.
Yeah, she actually used to do like competitive CrossFit.
Oh, CrossFit.
She still goes around and hosts competitions and stuff like that. But she also did straight powerlifting comps too.
Yeah. You know who I see in that house right now that's almost, she's on the down low. You don't see much of her, but I'd like to get your point of view, and if it's just not getting enough editing time, if my assessment is correct. I like Dominique. I
absolutely adore Dominique. She helped me so much in that house. Me and her had so many sit-down conversations when my anxiety was starting to get bad, and she would sit there and talk with me and pray with me.
Oh, that's nice.
And things would have been a lot worse for me without her. And I think she's playing a smart game. I really hope she starts up this secret alliance with Mark that I'm kind of starting to see. Right. I think they'll do really, really well together, and I think she could make it far.
Oh, I
actually had like a dream final two. I think it would be Christmas and Dominique.
Really? What about Ramses?
Yes. Ramses is such a sweetheart. I love him. I don't know if they've shown him yet, but he like runs around the house jumping and dancing, yelling it's lit. It's the funniest thing. And the second I saw him when I walked in that house, I knew I wanted him on my team. He looks like a super fan. He looked like he knew what he was doing, and I'm really hoping he goes far.
And you know, I'm not on board with bringing Paul back in the house. I'm not on board with it because it doesn't make sense. They bring one guy back in the house, and then some poor sapsucker has to go home because of it. It's just not fair. And all of a sudden, he wins 3 weeks of freedom. How does that happen?
So I really wanted a season without vets too. And when I first walked in that house, I counted the plates. There were 16 plates. We had 16 people. It was perfect. I was excited. Finally, like the first season in years without vets.
Right.
And then that twist happens, and Paul walks in the door. And I love Paul. I was such a huge fan of him, his season. But it was also disappointing.
Right. It changes everything in the game. You know, they have.
It really does.
They have, even when I went back to when I played with a season, Redemption Island, and we played with all new people, me and Boston Rob. Well, I tell you right now, it wasn't fair for them. You know, it's not fair.
No, not at all.
And then Rob wins the game, so you know it's just not right. And all of a sudden they have this, you know, all these twists and turns in the game, and then you have Paul getting 3 free weeks of being free. You know, 3 weeks. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that that's not a little. You know, I know he's a popular guy, and maybe the public did vote him in, but man, that's just. It seems like he's going to be handed the torch until the final 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you look at past seasons, every single time vets come in, CBS does something to protect them. If you look at season 18, they did the team.
Oh, let's make it clear though. It's not CBS. It's Big Brother. Because when they brought me back into Survivor, CBS didn't help me. You know, they don't. It's how Big Brother's structured. If you go back into Survivor, they don't save us. We don't have no special friendship bracelets. You know, we just go home.
Yeah, no, they do special things every time vets come in to protect them. So when they did the team thing, the vets were separated, you know, 1 on each team, and 2 of the teams were safe for the first 2 weeks. So they have these little steps that they always do to protect them, which kind of ruins the game, in my opinion.
It does. It ruins the game. It doesn't make it as fun to watch. You know, because he would be people. They're trying to. Because what happens is now he's safe for 3 weeks. Man, that cements a strong alliance. He's able to have some strong, values with these people that he's been in the house with for so long that it's going to help him.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So what do you think about all these showmances going on? This is kind of I don't think I've ever seen such nastiness in the whole Big Brother seasons.
I mean, there's always been showmances every season, but I've never seen them spring up this quickly.
I mean, that's what they are like out crazy. Out the gate.
Oh, yeah.
So when they walked in the house. And it was... When they walked in the house, did you see flirting happen like day one?
Oh, yeah. Mark and Elena, day one, it was happening. At first, Raven was staying in the room with Cody, and I thought maybe something was happening there. But then Cody switched to Jessica, and then Raven attached herself to Matt after he left her.
So there's already been a breakup, huh?
Yeah.
So it's I think that's extremely dangerous to align yourself with someone like that.
I don't think showmances help you at all in the game. I honestly think it makes you a target. And Alex has already talked about how she wants to target all the showmances, which I think is smart.
But do you think Alex is going to last?
I really hope she does. I think she's a sweet, amazing girl, and the time I got to spend getting to know her, I really enjoyed her company, and I'm always going to root for the outsiders.
Right. Did you and her get to talk after all that went down? Where she really knew that you didn't say that?
No, we never got a chance to talk, and I'm really hoping we will when she gets outside the house.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Because it was just not, it pisses me off if somebody says I said something and didn't say it. That I hate that worse than anything.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, Megan, I know you're tired, and I just wanted to find out a little bit about what really went on in the house. I sure appreciate you coming on the show. And like I said, you have my number. If you need to call me for anything, you can text me. And, if you get in a bind or anything like that, just let me know. I'll be there.
All right, I will do. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you had me on the show.
Thanks, Megan, but I'll hit you up later.
All right, sounds good. Bye-bye.
Thanks, son. Bye-bye.